We tend to view our physical well-being as a simple binary. If you aren't in a hospital, you're considered healthy. We survive day to day on supermarket aisles of boxed, processed, and cooked materials. But the physical reality of the standard diet tells a different story. When you consume cooked starches, pasteurized dairy, and heated fats, your body struggles to break them down. Instead of being utilized as clean fuel, these indigestible materials begin to accumulate deep within your tissue. Over decades, byproducts like bread and pasta pack as mucus around the cells. Rancid fats and enzyme-resistant protein chains striate within the musculature. This creates what is known as a false sense of bigness. People look at this density and mistake the stored garbage and chronic tissue inflammation for actual muscle mass or vitality. According to the clinical approach of Dr. David Jubb, there is actually only one real disease process: toxicity and enervation. The body is quite literally suffocating in its own trapped waste, forcing it to operate on a severely drained electrical charge. Reversing this decline requires viewing food as a carrier for living light and utilizing a targeted mechanical protocol to purge the physical density that prevents its absorption. In the 1970s, a biophysicist named Fritz Albert Popp discovered that all living cells emit measurable particles of light in the ultraviolet to visible spectrum. He called these non-thermal emissions biophotons. Popp found that the DNA molecule acts as a hollow resonator, storing and transmitting these photons to create a coherent field of information. Because light travels faster than chemical signals, it allows for near-instantaneous regulation of metabolism and cellular repair. This observation forms the basis of the photonic engine model of the human body. When you eat raw, sun-ripened organic foods, you're ingesting matter that holds high levels of this active light energy. The intact enzymes and biophotons act as an immediate electrical charge, supplying the frequencies your cellular network needs to brighten and thrive. Expose that same food to temperatures above 105 degrees, and its three-dimensional structural integrity collapses. The active enzymes are destroyed, and the biophoton light is completely extinguished. Consuming raw, living life food transfers the sun's stored energy into the body's own cellular network, recharging the internal voltage. But pouring high-voltage light into a clogged system will not yield results if the body's primary filtration organs, the liver and the gallbladder, are choked tight with decades of hardened waste. Over a lifetime of processing heated fats and starchy foods, calcified cholesterol, unmetabolized carbohydrates, and concentrated bile salts harden. They form physical, jagged stones and dense sludge deep within the biliary ducts. To clear this accumulation, Dr. Jubb developed a 14-day nutritional fast. It is a highly specific protocol designed to mechanically dismantle and extract these internal blockages without the use of surgical intervention. The process begins with chemical preparation. For several days, the individual consumes malic acid and raw apple juice. These compounds soak into the liver and gallbladder, penetrating the hardened stones and softening their sharp edges. At the same time, the digestive tract must be cleared entirely. The protocol requires a strict transition to a purely liquid diet to achieve a minimum of 4 liquid bowel movements a day. If the bowels don't move at this rate, the released toxins will simply reabsorb into the bloodstream. Softening the stones chemically and clearing the intestinal pathway mechanically are strict, non-negotiable prerequisites. They ensure the physical architecture is prepared to safely execute a massive internal flush. On the final night of the protocol, 2 weeks of careful preparation culminate in a rapid mechanical purge. The individual drinks a precise dose of Epsom salts. The high concentration of sulfates in the salts forces the smooth muscle of the pancreatic and bile ducts to relax, drastically dilating and opening wide. With the ducts fully expanded, the catalyst is introduced, a heavy dose of cold-pressed olive oil blended with highly acidic citrus juice, consumed quickly. The body detects this sudden, massive influx of pure fat and acid. In response, the liver and gallbladder rapidly and violently contract to release enough bile to process the heavy load. The pressure from this contraction acts like a plunger. The softened stones, toxic debris, and calcified bile salts are shot out through the fully dilated ducts, passing directly into the intestines to be permanently expelled from the body. This sequence of chemical softening, ductal dilation, and muscular contraction manually clears the deepest physical barriers to health. In the immediate aftermath, the internal pressure drops. With the dense, obstructive matter gone, the liver can freely resume its job filtering the blood and excreting waste, as it was originally designed to do. Systematic changes follow. Blood sugar levels often normalize within 24 hours, digestion heals, and the body's overall energetic vibration increases as the electrical resistance of the stored waste is removed. It is a return to our baseline biological design. We operate as natural photocells, built to absorb and thrive on the high-frequency light emissions found in wild, raw foods. Rather than fighting an endless war against isolated symptoms, this approach identifies the root cause, toxicity. Removing it allows the body to begin regeneration. When the body's physical density is cleared, it returns to nature's design, a system fueled and regulated by the high-frequency light of the sun. Clearing this waste to make way for living light is the path to true, highly charged health.